So in order to change the grading for a given point, we do need to have something with which to grade. And I do have an image in my background here that shows the grading movements of the points along my piece. My stacking point is going to be at the center front, at the waistline. And so this point will never change. It's 0, 0. It's going to change, not at all. If we look at my points here that represent my dart legs, so I have my 2 sets of dart legs here, and then the vanishing point down here, I can see that for all sizes, they need to move in the Y direction, either plus or minus from the base size by 1/8 of an inch. So what I can do here is I can go in nice and tight, and I can select those points. So all 4 of them are selected. When I do that, I get a number of options in my property editor. I'm not going to worry about distance right now. We can talk about that in another video. And I'm not going to talk about offset. We'll talk about that in another video as well. Instead, we're going to start with arrow key movement. What this means is that using the arrow keys on your keyboard, the up, down, left, and right, you can affect movement of your points by a specified value. This arrow key movement works only when all of your sizes, 4 through 18, move in the same amount. And that's not always the case. So in this case, we do have 1/8 of an inch movement vertically in the Y direction. It can be plus or negative depending on its the size relative to the base size, but the movement is the same. And so I want it to move by 1 inch, so I can change this value to be 0.125. Okay, so that sets up my arrow keys. And now if I have them highlighted, I can use my arrow key and you can see it moves them in one direction. Now I pressed my right arrow key, and so it moved it in the positive X orientation. That's not the way my arrows are going. So if I do a mistake like that, I can just simply press my arrow in the opposite direction. So now I'm going to press my left arrow and it goes back to where it was. If I want to go vertically, I know I need to increase. So I'm going to press the up arrow and it's going to move all of my points in a way that is up. Now I'm noticing that it's moving all of my points and I need to see that my black line is my baseline and it moved my baseline as well. So that reminds me that I need to go back over here and see that, oh, look at that. My size 4 is currently my base size. So now that my pattern piece has been applied to and assigned to my selected pattern, I can change my base size to size 8. And now I can see that when I look at my pattern pieces, it's moved my darts, my dart legs in such a way that my baseline stays on my pattern outline. My smaller sizes are in the negative Y direction for both my darts, and all my other sizes, 10 through 18, are in the positive orientation on the Y or X axis, indicating that they're getting bigger. Okay, so according to my diagram here, I need to do that same movement for my my vanishing points here. So I'm going to select my first vanishing point. I'm going to use my up arrow. I'm going to select and then actually it needs to go in the other direction as well. So I'm going to press my left arrow. And for the second one, I'm going to press my up arrow and my left arrow. So you can see that it's changed the values. Now it looks like my red, which is my smallest size, is closest to my center front, as it should be. It also is the shortest dart, as it should be. My largest size has been shifted by a significant amount, and it also has lengthened a bit. Okay, so that movement is correct based on my diagram that I have here. So you can use this arrow key anywhere that the grade is equal between all of the sizes. So I can see another location where that's the case, and that's at the hem. So I can now, if that's a 1/4 inch, change my arrow key movement to accomplish that task by doing 0.25 and by highlighting these points with a shift key or just highlighting the line itself, I can now use my arrow key, my left arrow key, to increase the length of all my points by a 1/4 inch. So that's the basics of using the arrow key movement. Again, all the sizes need to have the same increment between their sizing, and you can then specify the value and then use your arrow keys to move up, down, left, or right. So positive Y, positive X, or negative X, depending on what your needs are.